I'm Naksha and I'm an architect. I did my bachelor's from CEPT University, Ahmedabad, and after that I taught there for a bit as a teaching associate, and then I did a few projects of my own, and then there were a lot of questions which took off from my thesis, which essentially brought me to IIHS. Actually, my thesis was around cities and technology, and that year IIHS hosted the Urban Arc conference, which had a similar theme. So I was looking at platforms where I could go ahead and discuss my thesis, and find a forum where such discussions are taking place, and that's how I encountered IIHS and came here for the Urban Arc, and hence followed the fellowship. Because I already had certain questions, I did have some sort of an imagination of what this fellowship might turn out to be. I thought that there would be a lot of on-field and working on live projects with not just different professionals but also institutions. So I thought there would be, like, we are not only working from the institute of IIHS but with the government or with an NGO, and with other development sectors and things like that. That was the sort of imagination I had. I think definitely the time here at IIHS has been great in terms of really exposing me to that horizon of things that are possible, and covering all those little queries or large questions that I came forward to. But in terms of directly engage with the institutions, I didn't get to do it during the curriculum, but I think through internship and project, I'm a little bit getting exposed to it, which I think it's great. Yeah. One sort of an experience I think I would like to share. I think when I came to IIHS, I just had this image of, okay, interdisciplinary is like different fields come together and things like that. But also this idea of, oh, is there a goal to go towards? Maybe this course will help me define an urban goal and things like that. And the biggest thing that IIHS helped me is in breaking this notion of an absolute direction to move towards, and also collapse this idea of binaries, which is so rigid in our disciplinary training. There have been a couple of favorite things. One is definitely the office hours, where I've really got to engage with the faculty and discuss not just academic but also these very personal questions of what is an integrity of a professional, and very important things that is important to develop a practice. And the second thing, and I think the most important to me, would be my co-fellows. I've totally enjoyed being with them, and I've learned a lot, and I think I've learned as much from them as much as I've learned from the course. I think the best part is that the faculties are always open, and it's really amazing to see how much effort they put in, which makes us put an equal amount of effort to benefit equally from the course. But one thing that's been very challenging or interesting is when they really challenge your disciplinary training, and you get on to this reflective space where you start examining and really trying to pull apart your own disciplinary training in the larger context, and really question, where is this, what is the value of it, and start looking at it as a very relational entity rather than how reified or in a very myopic lens you'd have come across. I think that's what the faculty have been able to hold. But what would have been nice is, I think probably I worked a little more and then come over, because then I would be able to hold this tension much more better. I think the overall experience, and in terms of the course structure, I've quite enjoyed how it's a mixed bunch that is always thrown at us. And I think I particularly like the sequence in which it's come across, because in one we would just be exposed to the issues, and then in the next elective you'd study the theoretical underpinnings, which then helps you inform the previous one and build on that. And then after that you learn certain tools to add to all of this. So I think about the course structure, I've really enjoyed the sequence, and I think also I appreciate the depth to which each of it has gone, because it's just enough for newcomers to get a sense. At the same time, it's very situated with the issues or the tasks, and not really trying to attempt like an entire disciplinary breadth that's possible. So I think the elements that have been chosen has been very nice, and also the aspect of rooting the curriculum in very much an Indian context, asking questions which are very much relevant to our scenario and the southern urban questions. I felt there could be a little more emphasis on certain outputs from the skill set side, because I think when we are, especially like we are from the design, like I'm from the background with architecture, and there is a lot of stress on just the quality of the output. I think that could have been better here, where they really pushed us to come up with more, more curated outputs, just so that it can be presented out directly at certain other platforms. I don't deny that in the given amount of time one needs to also have a space for reflection and produce quality output, yet have something which is representable. So I think the course structures could start accommodating certain niches or certain space and time where they could just push to produce more more quality outputs that not only make sense in an interdisciplinary platform, but also hold of equal value and relevance when you go back to your own discipline. I think urban issues are likely becoming very multi-layered, complex, and have this flux. So I think the course that way is able to hold that tension, that multiplicity, that interdisciplinarity that is expected of us. So I think it's great, but just like I earlier mentioned, it would be nice if we who come are also clear of certain questions, so that we take more advantage of the course and shape it better, rather than be so open that we come here and get disillusioned. In terms of interdisciplinarity, I think my quest was always to see how the questions came from interdisciplines, not really the form of the discipline or the discipline in itself. So I think in that way, trying to inform my own question from other lenses, it's been a great experience. Yeah, I think because the internship was a 2-month period, and it's a quite short but good enough to just get a like a sense of what is happening in any place that I choose. I thought I could try working with the government itself and see how the state or the other side operates, because I think one thing that I came to IIHS was with this question of how does the bottom up and the top down meet. So I'm looking forward to this internship period where I engage either with Karnataka Housing Board or the HUDCO, that is Housing and Urban Development Corporation, to see how affordable housing schemes are unfolding in the city. Yeah. Okay, I think it's a great place to be, and definitely the place for people who would love to be reflective, who have a lot of burning questions rather than be like passive absorbers. The place has a lot to offer, only if you are able to take from it and make the maximum from what all is available. The faculties are great, and I would suggest that you start interacting with them even in the initial stages and not hesitate, because I think there's a lot to get back from this place. Yeah.